Hi, hello, my dear students. This is your Prasanna Harikrishna sir, Assistant Professor of Botany, SRR Government Arts and Science College, Karimnagar. So today we are going to see about photosynthesis. So the introduction or basic information regarding photosynthesis will be discussed in this particular session. Clear? So photosynthesis, remember. So photosynthesis, photo nothing but what? Light. Photo means light. Synthesis nothing but production. Synthesis means what? Production or formation. Okay. So formation of what? Formation of food stuff. So formation of food stuff. The food stuff it may be glucose. A complex structure of glucose can be called as starch. Starch is nothing but polysaccharides, whereas glucose is monosaccharide. Okay, this is monosaccharide, the simplest carbohydrate substance. This is an example for polysaccharides, that is a complex structure of carbohydrates. Okay, so come to basic concept, that is there is a formation of food stuff, or you can say any of the food material. So that is based upon the light. So how it takes place in the plants? Clear? So generally it takes place in what? Plants. And some of photosynthetic bacteria. Clear? So it takes place in plants and some of photosynthetic bacteria. So one of the protozoal organism, that is Euglena. So Euglena also performs photosynthetic process because it contains chlorophyll pigment. Okay. So how it takes place in the plants? Just have a look. So this is what? The plant. Right. So these are the leaves of the plant. Clear? So there is a water and minerals in the soil. So water and minerals are present in the soil. These water and minerals are absorbed by the roots of the plant. Okay, so roots absorb the water from the soil. Clear? So this water moves from the roots to stem, or you can say shoot, through a complex or compound tissue, that is xylem. Okay, so through the xylem is compound tissue. So along with phloem. So this xylem involves in the transportation of water and minerals from the roots to different parts of the plant. Clear? So this is the process. This entire process of transportation of water and minerals through the xylem can be called as guttation. Okay? So guttation. Clear? So this finally water reaches the leaf. So there is a water in the leaf. Finally this entire water is reached to the leaf of the plant. Clear? So there is a sun. This is a sun. So sun emits sunlight. This sunlight reaches the earth. For example, it penetrates on the leaf. For example, sunlight penetrates on the leaf. What happens? So whenever the sunlight penetrates on the leaf and there is a carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, you can have 0.03%. 0.03% of carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere. Clear? So this carbon dioxide enters into the leaf through the pores called stomata. Right? There are small pores which are called as stomata. So small pores are present. For example, if it is a leaf, there are small pore-like structures. Clear? These entire pore-like structures of the leaf can be called as stomata. Okay. So through the stomata, the atmospheric carbon dioxide enters into the leaf. Okay. So now what happens? Water is reached to the leaf, carbon dioxide enters into the leaf, and sunlight is available. So what is the color of leaf? What is the color of leaf? That is green color. For example, this is what? Green color. So green color is due to a pigment called chlorophyll. Okay. So there is a pigment nothing but color giving substance. Any of the substance which gives color, that can be called as pigment. For example, we have hemoglobin pigment in our blood. So due to hemoglobin pigment, the blood color is in red. Clear? So due to presence of chlorophyll in the leaf color is green. Remember, whenever the term chloro comes, chloro indicates green. So fill indicates leaf. Fill nothing but leaf, chloro means green. Clear? So green pigment is present in the leaf, hence the color of leaf is in green. Okay? So now chlorophyll is there in the leaf, sunlight is available, carbon dioxide already entered into the leaf, and water is ultimately reached to the leaf. Now what happens in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll? In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, these two compounds, what is that? Carbon dioxide and water combines together and formation of foodstuff will be taken place. Clear? So I will give you the equation. So what is that? 6CO2 plus 12H2O. Okay, 6 moles of carbon dioxide and 12 moles of water. So combines together. For example, you can see the diagram. So this is carbon dioxide, this is water. They combine together in the presence of whom? In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Okay, so this is what? H nu. H nu indicates sunlight, and chlorophyll, CHL indicates what? Chlorophyll pigment. Okay, so in the presence of chlorophyll and H nu, water combines with carbon dioxide and there will be a formation of C6H12O6. This is what? Foodstuff, that is glucose. Okay, so glucose is formed and 6 moles of water and 6 moles of oxygen will be also formed. Okay, so 6 moles of water is formed and 6 moles of oxygen is also produced. So oxygen is basically a gas. This this mark, whenever it comes, this mark comes, it indicates what? Gas. Okay, so gas does not stay in one particular location. It moves from one place to another. Clear? So this is about equation of what? Photosynthetic process. Clear? So if you analyze equation of photosynthetic mechanism, so you can get some clarity over each and every aspect. Okay, so what is these are what? These are some sources. So sources for the production of glucose or sources for production of oxygen. Okay, so carbon dioxide and water. So these two are combined together and there will be formation of foodstuff and there is a liberation of oxygen. Okay, so this is what? Sunlight. So sunlight is useful for photosynthetic mechanism. Remember, so there is a frequency, that is 390 nm to 760 nm. So 390 nm to 760 nm sunlight is useful. For example, if you observe the electromagnetic spectrum, that is EMS. So EMS of sunlight, electromagnetic spectrum, this is composed with different radiant energies, different levels of light energy. So it may be the UV rays, that is ultraviolet rays, it may be cosmic rays, it may be gamma rays, X-rays, it may be IR, infrared rays, and it may be visible light. What is that? Visible light. So visible light, or you can say photosynthetically active radiation, PAR light. So visible light is also called as what? PAR, photosynthetically active radiation. Clear? So this frequency of light, this frequency of light can be called as visible light. 390 nanometers to 760 nanometers light of electromagnetic spectrum can be called as visible light or photosynthetically active radiation. Why it is photosynthetically active radiation? Because so this frequency light, this light frequency is useful for photosynthetic process. Hence it is photosynthetically active radiation. So there are different colors in this particular spectrum, that is VIBGR. You very well known about VIBGR. So violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. So these are the lights which are useful for photosynthetic mechanism except green. For example, green light is not at all useful for photosynthetic mechanism. Why it is not useful? We will discuss in detail in the further classes. Clear? Just remember, VIBGR is the visible light. VIBGR are the different colors in visible light. The wavelength or the frequency of this particular visible light or photosynthetically active radiation is 390 nanometers to 760 nanometers, or you can use another word, that is 3900 angstroms to 7600 angstroms. If you convert nanometers into angstroms, remember 1 nanometer is equals to 10 angstroms. 1 nm is equals to 10 angstroms. Okay, hence 390 nanometers is equals to 3900 angstroms. 760 nanometers is equals to 7600 angstroms. Okay, so this is about what? Light. Then chlorophyll. Chlorophyll, already I have told you, chlorophyll is a green pigment which is useful for photosynthetic mechanism. Then there is a formation of glucose, okay, and formation of water and oxygen. Clear? Now what happens? For example, these protons are there now. These protons of the water, remember, protons of the water move to carbon dioxide. So protons of the water move to carbon dioxide, hence carbon dioxide is reduced. Carbon dioxide is reduced to glucose. Hence photosynthetic process is basically a reduction process. Okay, so photosynthetic process is a reduction process. Why it is reduction? Because protons or hydrogen ions in the water move to or shift to carbon dioxide. Then carbon dioxide, after getting protons or hydrogens from the water, carbon dioxide gets reduced to form a compound called glucose, or you can say carbohydrate. Okay, so this type of metabolic process can be called as reduction. Okay, then photosynthetic process is also an example for anabolism. Okay, so anabolic process means what? There are metabolism is classified into two basic concepts. One is anabolic process and the second one is catabolic process. Catabolic process is nothing but breakdown or destructive process. Example for this is a respiration. I have already told you. Then the second one is what? Anabolism. Anabolism nothing but synthetic process or formative process. Synthetic process nothing but what? Something is produced, something is synthesized in the anabolic process. It may be amino acids, it may be proteins, it may be carbohydrates. Clear? So in this entire picture you can see there is a production of what? Glucose. There is a production of glucose. So if glucose or any of the foodstuff is produced, that can be called as what? Anabolism. Hence anabolism is an example for what? Photosynthesis. Clear? Then it is energy receiving reaction. So photosynthesis is an energy receiving reaction. Why it is energy receiving reaction? Because it receives solar energy or radiant energy. Okay, so in the presence of energy, these two compounds combine together. If there is no energy, if there is no radiant energy, there is no combination of water and carbon dioxide. Hence there will be no production of glucose and oxygen. Clear? So this for the combination of these two compounds, some amount of energy is needed, some amount of energy is required. Clear? This amount of energy is given by whom? Sunlight. Okay, so hence photosynthetic process is also called as energy receiving reaction. Okay, so then come to here, there is liberation of oxygen. Liberation of oxygen from where? From the leaf, or you can say from the plant. So oxygen will come out from the leaf, or you can say plant, during the photosynthetic mechanism. Okay, so this is all about the analytical view of the equation of photosynthetic mechanism. Clear? So where it occurs? Generally it occurs in the chloroplast. You know very well about chloroplast. This is one kind of cell organelle which is there in the cytoplasm of the cell. So chloroplast is disc shaped cell organelle. Generally it is enclosed with two layers, that is outer layer and the second one is inner layer. In between two layers there is a space like mitochondria. So in between two mitochondrial layers there is a space that is called as what? Perimitochondrial space in mitochondria, but here periplastidial space. What is that? Periplastidial space. So periplastidial space is located in between two layers of chloroplast. One is upper layer or outer layer and the second one is inner layer. Then there are disc like structures or coin like structures which are arranged one above the other. So every disc is called as what? Thylakoid. So you know very well about the structure, but I want to give you some brief information. So thylakoids, the group of thylakoids can be called as what? Grana. Group of thylakoids is grana. Clear? There is a space, a liquid substance inside the chloroplast. This is what? Stroma. Okay, so stroma is there, grana is there. Every grana is made up of some disc or coin like structures called thylakoids. So every chloroplast is basically a disc shaped structure which enclosed with two layers, outer layer and the inner layer. So between these two layers there is a space called a periplastidial space. Clear? So this is about what? The basic information regarding photosynthesis. So in next session we will discuss about historical background of photosynthetic mechanism, right? So thank you one and all.